Hello and welcome. You tune into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Sheshat Dhuri. In the next 1 hour, we'll take you through all the top buzzers in the trading session today. But before we get started with all the stocks and news, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up at this juncture. Shesha, it's a good day of markets coming in. In fact, there's been a one-way buying that we see coming in, at least on the frontline indices and the broader markets that continue their outperformance. There have been no selling pressure even now in the second half of the day.
Indeed, and good day turning out to be for the Indian markets. Nifty is now up nearly 112 points as we speak, 25,180. So clearly, good day for the Indian markets. Nifty Bank is also holding on to gains of nearly 0.4%. It is up 220 points as we speak. We have Kotak Mahindra Bank up 2.5%, and this, remember, is the top gainer on the Nifty 50 index, followed by L&T. This one is up 2%. Axis Bank, Tata Steel, Eicher Motors, Bharti Airtel, all of them gaining anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5% in trade today. On the losing side, Shriram Finance, that one is also down 1.5%. So yes, Ankita, good day for the Indian markets, and Nifty is now above that 24,150 mark.
Yes, absolutely. The 25,150, the first resistance level for Nifty. We have been sitting comfortably over that, in fact. But now on the technicals, let's join in. Let's get on board Osho Krishnan, who's the Chief Manager and Technical and Derivative Research, Angel One, who's now joining us on the technicals. From the research team, we have Rabinder and Kanishka, both of them joining us. Hi, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get going with all the buzzers in trade today. And the first stock that is in focus is Mishra Dhatu. It is in focus. In fact, that was trading up almost 2% in the morning session after the company secured orders worth 136 crore rupees. That's boosting its open order book to around 1,983 crores as of date. Now, Mishra Dhatu is engaged in the business of manufacturing super alloys, titanium, special purpose steel, and other special metals. This is a big order win coming in for Medhani or Mishra Dhatu. And on the back of that, it has given up all those morning gains, but nonetheless, it is holding out in the green with gains of over 0.5% right now.
Okay, so that's Medhani for you, up 0.8%. But let's also put the spotlight on Blue Star, then Osho. Yesterday, we had some fundamental news flow where PLI scheme for white good companies was approved. And today on the technicals, what do charts suggest? The stock is holding on to gains of nearly 1.5% as we speak.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Firstly, thank you for inviting me on the show. Well, looking at the recent developments in Blue Star, then we have seen a kind of a cycle of higher highs, higher lows in this counter from the past 3 to 4 months. And in the recent period, very short-term perspective, the counter was hovering around its 21-day exponential moving average, which even coincides with the breakout neckline of the breakout zone near about 1900 odd level. So I expect that with the kind of traction after the consolidation in the past 5 days, this counter emerges as one of the buying bets from the consumption basket. So I expect that from here onwards, there is high possibility for the counter to retest the zone of 2080 on a very short-term perspective. And even after that, also this counter looks poised to test the zone of 2150 to 2160 from short to medium-term point of view. So at current juncture, the counter looks very lucrative from a risk-reward point of perspective. So one can look for buying opportunity in Blue Star.
Okay, so you can look for buying opportunity in Blue Star. That's the word coming in. But let's put the spotlight on Oberoi Realty from the real estate pack. And this stock is in focus on the back of an antique report. In fact, they've come out with a very bullish report on Oberoi Realty. They are maintaining their buy stance on the stock with a target price of 2269. And they say that they expect Oberoi Realty could do pre-sales anywhere between 5,500 to 6,000 crores in FY26. And they say Oberoi has a strong pipeline of launches that are lined up in the second half of this fiscal, including Gurugram, Sky City, Borivali, and also some other projects in Pedder Road, Mumbai. They say Oberoi, along with major launches that are lined up in the second half of this fiscal, could surpass its 6,500 crores pre-sales if all the planned launches materialize, and could also positively surprise in FY26. So their outlook continues to remain very positive. They are maintaining their buy stance. 2269 is the target price, and Oberoi Realty in focus on the back of this antique report.
All right, so that's Oberoi Realty on the back of that antique report. But there's another counter that is in focus today, and that was doing pretty well in today's trading session, and that's SpiceJet. Rabinder, take us through the news flow on SpiceJet then.
Well, yes, SpiceJet is in focus, where SpiceJet has signed a lease agreement for the induction of another 8 Boeing 737 aircraft, and with this, the airline's planned fleet addition rise to 18 aircraft, reinforcing its commitment to meet the rising demand for air travel during the upcoming festive season and the winter season. And the latest announcement come on the back of two earlier lease agreements covering the induction of 10 Boeing 737 aircraft, which is scheduled to join the fleet starting in the starting of October 2025. So, back of this news flow, SpiceJet is in focus, and the stock is sitting with a gain of approximately 1%.
Okay, so SpiceJet holding on to gains of nearly 1% on the back of this, but shifting focus to the IT sector then. Osho, you've picked up Cyient for us today. What do charts indicate for this counter? The stock is holding on to gains of a solid 3% in trade today.
See, overall, from a longer or positional perspective, the counter is still into a downtrend. But looking at the recent development, specifically from the past 1 week, the counter have started gaining some kind of traction, and there has been positive divergence on the technical parameters also. So I expect that there is a possibility for the counter to gain some momentum from here onwards. On the higher end, the immediate resistance can be seen around the zone of 1360 towards 1400 kind of a zone. So that can be seen as an immediate resistance for the counter for anyone who is approaching as a buying perspective in the counter at current levels. And on the lower end, 1170 to 1180 is expected to provide very strong support. So I expect that from short-term point of view, one can look for buying opportunity. 1360 followed by 1400 will be the immediate target for the counter.
Moving on from Cyient on the charts to another counter which is a buzz on the back of a big order win, that's Suzlon Energy. Kanishka, take us through the details of this order win.
That's right. The Suzlon Energy, as you said, is in focus after the company did announce its largest order of FY26. It's an 838 megawatt deal with Tata Power, Tata Power Renewable Energy. This is also Suzlon's second biggest order ever after its 1544 megawatt deal with NTPC Green Energy earlier. Now, this current project is part of India's firm and dispatchable renewable energy program. It is seen as critical for delivering round-the-clock, grid-stable, clean power. Suzlon will supply 266 of its S144 wind turbines across Karnataka, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu for this project. And the collaboration, of course, underscores the growing role of FDRE projects in India's energy transition journey. And hence, on the back of this big order win, that is FY26 biggest order win for Suzlon Energy, the stock is in focus, currently trading about 1.5% higher.
Okay, so that's Suzlon Energy for you. The stock is holding up with gains of nearly 1.5% on the back of that. But let's also put the spotlight on a whole host of other stocks. In fact, we'll slip into a short break, but on the other side, we'll discuss many more buzzers. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. You tune into Market Fatafat, where we are getting all the top buzzers in trade today. And with that, let's get going with all the stocks that are in focus today. Next up is the logistic counters that is in focus on the back of a note by JP Morgan, where JP Morgan has given JP Morgan, and in fact even JP Morgan has come out with a note. In fact, it is maintaining a overweight rating on delivery with a target price of 575 rupees. They have initiated coverage on delivery on Aegis Logistics and Container Corporation. In fact, Aegis Logistics, they are maintaining an overweight with a target price of 895, and Container Corp, they are all maintaining a neutral rating with a target price of 590 rupees. They feel that they have initiated the coverage for Indian logistics sector with a preference towards the fastest growing B2C and B2B express and the oil and gas segments. They also see India's B2C e-commerce logistic markets outpacing the industry at a 16% CAGR by FY30 estimates, and it is led by rising consumer penetration in the tier 2 cities and the tech-driven efficiencies. Also, the labor shortages are making automation-related investments the need of the hour and success determinant. Also, the new age logistic players like Delivery are displaying this awareness. They're cracking this code with better execution while raising the batteries to enter in an industry known for scale barriers. They're also also assume a coverage, like I mentioned, on Concor as well, and they are maintaining a TCI Express. Also, they have initiated a coverage, but they're maintaining a neutral stance on TCS with a target price of 750. But for Delivery, Aegis Logistics and Concor, where they're maintaining an overweight, these counters are moving in trade with Delivery up 1.5% and Concor is trading up almost 6% up.
All of these logistics stocks in focus on the back of this JP Morgan report, but let's put the spotlight on another candidate which is gaining nearly 3.5% in trade today, and that's Cholamandalam Investment at 1571 Osho. Where do you see the stock headed, especially after the kind of solid up move that we have seen today?
See, overall, there has been a very strong reversal on the daily time frame chart for Cholamandalam. So I expect the counter to see a kind of a decent rally from current levels. Initially, the first resistance that can be seen on the technical charts is around the zone of 1590 to 1600. But surpassing those levels, the counter can retest the zone of 1640 to 1650 during a very short-term point of view. So I expect that there can be a strong momentum in the counter going forward, and one can look for buying opportunity in this counter.
Opportunity emerging in Chola Investment, that's the word coming in. But let's also put the spotlight on a whole host of banking counters which continue to remain in focus today, and this is on the back of a report Motilal Oswal has come out with. In fact, they've given a buy rating on a whole host of counters. ICICI Bank buy with a target price of 1670, HDFC Bank 1150, SBI with a target price of 925. Motilal Oswal says, in fact, they are penciling in 17% EPS CAGR for the entire sector over the period FY 26 to 28. They say BFSI consensus earnings estimates have been significantly downgraded in the recent months owing to margin pressure, weak loan growth and elevated credit costs, but they believe that recovery is in sight, and hence they've given a buy rating on all these counters. They also say that large diversified banks like ICICI, HDFC and SBI have shown significant resilience in earnings with modest cut over the last few quarters. And consensus estimates point to muted earnings growth in FY26 but a rebound in FY27, and that is exactly why they continue to remain bullish. ICICI Bank and SBI holding on with marginal amount of gains on the back of this Motilal Oswal report.
All right, all the banking names in focus on the back of this report by Motilal Oswal, but L&T is another counter which is in focus, Ravinder. Tell us what's the news flow here.
Well, as a heavy civil infrastructure business vertical of the L&T has won a significant order from Nuclear Power Corporation of India for 2 into 1000 megawatt electrical for Kudankulam Nuclear Power Project in Tamil Nadu, and the scope encompasses the mechanical package for the project, including installation of the nuclear reactor and turbine system with generator and the condenser C, water system, polar and terrestrial cranes and other related equipment. It also includes accessories, piping, support, structural steelwork, painting, anti-corrosion coating, insulation and full testing across various buildings and structure of the site. And the order reinforced L&T's track order and proven expertise in delivering complex and large-scale nuclear power infrastructure projects for India's clean energy mission, and the order range of the company is between 1,000 to 2,500 crores. So back of this order win, L&T is in focus and the stock is up approximately 2%.
Okay, so L&T holding up with gains of nearly 2%, and remember, this is not just the only order. Over the last few days, L&T has won several orders, so the stock continues to gain momentum on the back of solid order wins that have come through. But shifting focus to the oil and gas sector and GAIL, the stock is up 0.7% at about 181. Osho, what do technical indicators suggest for this counter?
See, for GAIL, I expect that overall on the technical front, there has been a kind of a triple bottom formation on the daily time frame chart, and the counter seems very positive from the current level. So I expect that in the short term period, there is high possibility for the counter to retest the zone of nearly 192 to 195 in the very short term point of view. But overall, the trend seems to getting reversed from here onwards. So one can look for buying opportunity even for short term or for medium to long term perspective. But immediately 192 will be the immediate resistance for the counter. If it's able to breach the zone of 192, then we can see retestament of 200 in the coming period also.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we are getting you more buzzers on the other side. Stay tuned.